Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are trying to finish up our M101 project working with StellaVita ToupTek's 62AM full frame camera. We've already done the Luminance and the red channel. We're working on the green channel. We've had horrible weather conditions. Now we're dealing with some Canadian wildfires with smoke, but we're going to try and get this thing done tonight. So let's jump right into StellaVita here. All right, so here's StellaVita. It's loading up. Let's make sure we have everything turned on. And I'm gonna have to move this around just a little bit here so I can see what's going on. All right, so we got the SkyEye 62AM turned on. Focal length is good, gain's good. All the settings should be good. The AM5 is what we're using tonight. All those settings are turned on. And I will tell you, this is where I messed up the last couple of settings. I made a huge mistake, and I'll go ahead and say that now. Right here where it says the Meridian Flip at the bottom, stop tracking time before Meridian, I was getting really close to the scope banging on the tripod legs because it's so long. The ZWO 130 APO is really long, and especially with the camera sticking out the back. It's really long, and it was really close. So I figured I would adjust just that time from 5 minutes to 8 minutes, and I did not know that doing that would cause this thing to go bonkers, and it wouldn't track. Not only would it not track, I couldn't get it to polar align, and all my increments, it would say, hey, you need to go up. You actually had to go down. When it said go left, you had to actually go right to get it, and it would never align. But anyway, my advice to everyone is that leave this alone, leave that setting set at 5 until after you're polar in line and everything's good to go. Then you can change it and it won't be an issue. All right, so there's the guiding camera. Is a 120mm. Everything is set up good to go. No filter wheel. Electronic focuser is the ZWO EAF. All right, so I think all that looks good. So let's go in here and oh yeah, one thing here so you'll know. Sorry, I'm still getting used to using the iPad and the screen record feature at the same time here. This is the miscellaneous. We are imaging, or we are actually recording to the SD card, excuse me. And we just did an update to the core version of 1.130. Did that just a while ago. So all that is working. Here is the latest and greatest from what I've got here on Saturday, May 31st. And it's just around 2100. So, all right, there we go. Let's jump right into taking a picture and getting this thing started. And we're gonna have some issues with the smoke, but I think this is gonna work. Fingers crossed. We should be good. All right, just waiting for the first little image to come through. Make sure it's gonna plate solve. Then we'll get this thing underway with polar alignment. All right, there's looks like Polaris is down there. Let's hit the little plate solve button right off to the right. Plate solve pretty quickly, so we're gonna roll with that. I think we're gonna be okay here. Let's give it a go. Hit the polar alignment button. And we're off to the races. And I'm gonna move this over here so it's not in the way of my guiding information. And hopefully you can kind of see the scope there a little bit. Trying not to, there it is moving now. I'm trying not to get the light too much in the way of the camera, so you can at least see my face. I'm trying to do it with my red light on, but it was drowning out the camera, so I don't think I need it right now since I have this little LED light on. seems to be working. And I'm so glad that I figured out my mistake. I would have had this project done 2 weeks ago if I would have not done that. But hey, we all make mistakes, and I'm still learning. So, all right, we are going to I'm going to adjust it just ever so slightly, the azimuth here. Let's try that. I've been using so many different mounts here lately. Each one of my devices, whether it be, and each one of the mounts, the knobs mean turning something different. So I may get the direction wrong to begin with because I was just using the Ease. No, there we go. All right, that's good. I was just using the Ease Astro EM31, and it's a little different. I'll adjust the altitude just a little bit, and I apologize for the creaking chair here. I got a really old chair I'm sitting on out here. Now, I hear we're supposed to probably have some northern lights down south, possibly on June 2nd, which is my birthday, by the way, so everyone wish me early happy birthday. All right, so we're getting real close here. Let me make sure I got that turned up so I can hear the little chime there. All right, so we want to take it up just a wee bit more. We're going to adjust it ever so slightly that way, just a little to the left. Maybe we'll get lucky and do 2 movements at once and bag this polar alignment quick. But again, there's no need to race when doing this. Try to get as close as you can. Get better tracking. All right. So I overshot just a little bit. So we're going to bring it up ever so slightly. Make a small adjustment. But here's the good news, is that the numbers are getting smaller each time, because when I did that little change from 5 to 8 minutes, the numbers, they would just go like this. They would keep getting further and further apart unless you reversed each one. It was really strange. I've never seen that happen before. Okay, sorry, we're getting a little bit closer here. So I'm going to adjust my altitude just a little bit. And then just ever so slightly on the azimuth, and we'll see where we get on this. This is looking really good. I'm really happy with the progress of this polar alignment here. Ever since I started using StellaVita, I've gotten more and more pleased as I go. 1, learning how to use it, and 2, the updates. All right, have made my life a whole lot easier. So really not worried about the altitude anymore. We're going to adjust the azimuth just a little bit, but just as I adjust this, it's probably going to throw us a little off, but we'll see. We'll see if we need to adjust it a little bit more, but hopefully we'll get the nice little chime when we're below an arc minute in each of the altitude and azimuth. I believe that's when it makes the little chime. Let's see here. The bugs are on me pretty good out here. All right. Let's give that a go. It's looking really good. I'm really hoping that the smoke kind of clears or thins out, at least thins out. I will have to in this video post. We took the red channel, and I used my GoPro to track it through the night, and it turns out we were imaging through some pretty bad clouds, and I was pretty impressed. Even when stacked all the data, it wasn't all trash. It was usable. It's not award-winning data, but it was usable to make a picture with. So hopefully this smoke will thin out and we won't have an issue. But we're getting really close. All right, now see, I like that noise. That means we're below a half an arc second on both altitude and azimuth. I believe that's what that means. But I'm not going to go with this. I'm going to hit the refresh button just to make sure. We could get it lower, but hey, it tracks well like this anyway, I believe. So as long as it's still below half on each one, yeah, I like that. Okay, so we're gonna roll with that. We're gonna hit a little red square here to stop the polar alignment. We will exit the polar alignment, and we are going to, let's see here, let's focus up on the target. Let's do that. So let's get to the target first. So there's a couple ways of doing that. Let me move this down over here. Sorry, y'all, for moving you around so much. But what we want to do is we want to go ahead and start the image plan at the top left here. And let's see here. Now this has changed here. Okay, nope, here we go. All right, there we go. All right, so we're gonna start fresh here with a new target. Well, I gotta, if my finger could ever hit the delete button. I'm not sure why it's not deleting, but we're just gonna go with this target 4. I don't know why it's not deleting. Let's try that again. I don't know if it's it might be because of the screen record feature that I've got going on. So anyway, we'll stop hitting the target features, but that may be the issue on why it's doing that. So we're going to call this M101. Okay, we're going to go target from star library. It's already been saved in the library because we've been doing that for quite some time now. We want to slew to the target. We want to center on the target. Then we do want to start guiding. Let's see here. We're going to do our own autofocus. But we're not wanting to go there. Well, let's see here. Autofocus on beginning. Let's try that. I've never tried that before, so we're going to try the autofocus feature after it slews to the target to make it a one-stop shop. We're going to try this, so this will be interesting. All right, that's good. That's all good there. We're going to save it, and then I got to move you over here. Sorry about that. Go to task management, and then start a new one. So we're going to do lights. We're going to do gain 100. We're going to do 10-minute exposures, so 600 seconds there, done there. We're going to do, I'm not sure how many we're going to squeak in, but I like to put 80 in there just so I don't run out. So we'll do that. We'll hit the save button. So all that looks good. All right. So let's get y'all back up over there. Sorry about moving around. Just want to make sure I hit the right button here. Okay, so we can hit the little camera button over here. And we hit it, hold it down just for a second, and we go to the plan mode. And right there it shows we've got 80 ready to go. So we're going to hit the start button off here to the right, and hopefully it should slew to the target, should center up, it should start guiding, or either guide then autofocus, or focus then guide, one of the two, but we're going to find out, because here we go. And it is slewing to the target, as you can see. It's looking good, plenty of room on the scope down here. As you can see, I was really worried about the camera hitting the tripod leg there, but it all looks pretty good so far, and it's trying to center itself up. I've never done it this way before, so we're going to find out how this goes. Normally I'll do my autofocus beforehand, So I don't know the steps in which this is going to go. But it looks like it's going to go. And it's still trying to center up. And some of this is due to, here comes the first picture. Guiding has started. It's calibrating now. We're going to wait till this first image rolls through. It should come through any second now. Okay, there's the first image. So it took the image. Let's move over to the guiding camera so you can see what's going on there. And there it is. It's locked onto the star and it's calibrating. We'll let it do its thing, and then I guess when it's done calibrating, it should roll right into autofocusing. And we'll check that part out, which will be good. We'll get a lot of tests in one here, so we'll see. But I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening or day, depending upon where you're at, and clear skies if you are imaging. And the moon is not out so much tonight. It's just barely up there, just a little sliver left. But I'm really starting to get the smell of that smoke coming through. So what you just saw there was a little glitch. Sometimes I'll have a glitch when I'm doing the ASI Air 2. It just loses the signal, comes back. Now I don't know if that's because of the iPad. I've never had this issue with that, doing it with the tablet. It only happens with the iPad. And I'll send that off and hit the log. See if there's a log feature here. I'll check the log and see if there's a file I can send over to the people over at ToupTek. They're really good about getting back if I have an issue. And we'll see if it may be an iPad issue with that little glitch there. But as you can see, it didn't hurt anything. It just kind of like logged out and logged back in. It's almost like a network issue. And I used to think that it's my network, but it only does it with this iPad. All right, so we're getting really close to finishing up the guiding calibration. And I'm looking to see, hopefully it's going to, we're just about halfway through. Trying to look up and see. I can just barely make out some of the, well, this light is really taking my night vision away, but I can see the Big Dipper pretty much right there. So everything seems to be going well. We'll just get finished up with this guiding, and then hopefully it rolls right into autofocus. I don't know if y'all can hear the crickets, but the wind's picking up a little bit, which is okay for me. I know that it messes with the guiding a little bit, but sure does keep those mosquitoes off my head. All right, so we're just about done with the guiding calibration. Just another few seconds here. It should be finishing up. All right, so it says it's guiding, and I just heard the autofocuser take over. So I'm going to pull up the autofocus. I thought I heard the autofocus kick on. I was kind of hoping it was going to pull up the it's autofocusing, but I was kind of hoping to actually see the autofocus screen. As you can see, the numbers down here on the autofocus, it's actually going. So it even says it on the bottom. Okay, so down here on the bottom, this is a little different. Instead of having the little box, at the top of the screen with a little chart and a little number. Normally there's a little number with a green box around it. It's down here at the bottom, and it tells you what the number is. Whatever star that it's locked onto, it's given the HFR reading right there at the bottom of the screen. So that's just as good. I thought it was pretty cool to do it the other way, and you actually see the graph up there. But like I say, this is a new way of doing it, all in one in the plan mode, which is nice. So you can just, in case you forget to autofocus, if you throw it into your plan, you can just one and done it and then be done with it. So everything seems to be working. Boy, that's a nice little, it's like the air conditioner just came on out here. That was a nice little blast of wind there. And just remember that when you're using a full frame camera, such as this 62AM from ToupTek, it's like a 61, 62 megapixel camera. So when the file, every time it takes a picture, it's sending that over. It takes a while to download that image. So you're seeing this image on the screen saying, well, that HFR image of 3.5 should be a little bit lower. Well, you can actually see it's going down, but if you look over here at the little screen off to the right, the status bar is still moving. It's still trying to download that picture. And even when you'll get an autofocus succeeded, meaning it's done, when you're using the full frame camera that I've noticed, you still have to wait 1 or 2 images to come through to finally get your final image, because it's still downloading that that file, because the camera file is so large. So with all that said, is if you're using an APS-C sensor, 2600 or even smaller, it goes really fast. Not instantaneously, but just within a few seconds, like 1 to 5 seconds versus 15 to 20 seconds per image on this one, which is still not bad. So I have a feeling that since it went all the way down to below 2, it's going back up to try to figure out where the curve is, and then it's going to go back down to the 2-ish area or 1-ish area. But the other screen had the nice curve. I don't know how to get back to that. I don't think it'll come up. Maybe it's like this. Maybe it's designed that way in the auto plan mode. But as you can see now, the stars are getting, out of focus. And as you can see, it's supposedly done, but I'm still waiting on the new image to come in. Hopefully it's a nice tight star when it shows up. It says we're guiding again. So I'm assuming the autofocus routine, I must have missed it down here, is done. Let's pull up our guiding. We're at 0.71 and still waiting. There we go. So that last image did come in. So the stars do look good. We do have an image, and I can just barely make it out right here in the center. I got it right in the center of the screen here, M101. So it's there. And we're guiding, and we've already started. If you look at the right hand side of the screen, it's already started taking its first 10-minute image. So yeah, all we have to do is wait here. We're just going to let this run for a few minutes. We'll get the first image down on the screen, and then I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going to go in and hang out, watch TV, maybe go to bed, and then this thing is going to track in M101 throughout the night, do a Meridian Flip, and then we'll see how many images come out tomorrow during processing. But we'll just wait here for a few more minutes. We'll get the first image to come through, and then we'll put StellaVita on basically autopilot and let it do its thing. But the guiding is looking really good here. It's at 0.66. Can't really ask for better, knowing that we have some really not good seeing right now. And if I looked at our actual seeing, it's in poor. We have transparency is poor, smoke, and seeing is poor. So can't really ask for any better than what we got right here. I'm just really elated that we even have pictures of the stars and can actually hopefully get an image here. We're about a quarter of the way through. The wind is picking up a little bit, but that's okay. Everything seems to be going just fine, and we'll get through this. We'll get through this image, and then we'll close everything down and hopefully see you back inside in PixInsight with a completed M101 LRGB. And if we have time, our skies have been really bad. If we have time, I'll see if I can't go and get a few hours of HA, and we'll try to do a combine the HA and the red channel, or the HA and the Luminance channel, and then put everything in together for a nice cool image. Ooh, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Oh, we have so much wildlife around here. Deer was out messing with the scope last night. That sounded like a coyote not too far away. All right, I just gotta keep an eye on my back. All right, well, we are just about halfway through our first 10-minute image. Guiding is still holding pretty good. I could probably go in there and make some adjustments to the... Oh, well, good news is it's not a coyote. That is my neighbor's huskies. Didn't realize they were outside. I probably could go in and make some adjustments to the amount that the RA and DEC receive the impulses and the length at which it's making a correction, and probably get those inputs down a little bit better. Oh, sorry everyone. It's been a long day. I was up kind of early, and it's not even 10 o'clock. It's 9:30, which is great. We're already taking our first image, which is good, because from the looks of the trying to see if y'all can see the camera and the tripod here. There's probably 8 inches in there, so we don't have too terribly long before a Meridian Flip. So this is good that that we're able to get this going now at 9:30. It's 9:35, and the first image is almost done, which is good because from where I'm sitting you can't see it, but directly on that side of me there's these big old trees, and I only have, you know, if you mark out the sky, I've got this much I've got this much room for the scope to travel and before it follows M101 into the tree. So we just have to plan these targets out to maximize the amount of sky time versus where the actual targets are. And now what's really cool for me, sitting exactly in this same location, but facing directly north-northeast in the wintertime when it gets dark early, you know, at 5:36, I'm taking my first image as the target comes up, and it's right above the trees, and it'll track it all the way to the meridian and then flip. And then those targets that are in that general area, the way that it comes up and rotates at the same time. It rotates around and misses this tree and goes down in between the house and this other tree, and I can image roughly 10.5 hours on a target if it's good weather, which is insane, in one night. As long as the subs come out good with no satellites or planes or whatever is going on. So somewhere between 8.5 and 10 is usually what I get. All right, so just another few minutes here, more than 3/4 of the way done for this 10-minute image. And I don't know why, I don't think, I think I may have messed up. I may have to stop this program. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I'm doing a 10-minute image. I think I was only doing 180. But once this is over with, once this image comes through, which, you know what, we can actually look right now. You can just go into this file system here. You can go to the M101, go into the lights, and I think this is, give me a day, that's 300 seconds. So I think I'm doing 300 seconds on this. So I'm gonna have to go back. Let me put y'all back over here. I'm gonna have to go back, I believe. Let me go into the red, and let's go, nope. Sequence, M101, light. Well, maybe I've already taken SD card, sequence. I'm trying to figure out where I put the rest of these files at, so I know that I got the right. Okay, here we go. This is where they all are. Let's take a look at this one. I think I did a boo-boo. I think I'm doing 10-minute long images when I should be doing either 3-minute or 5-minute images. That's okay. I got 10 minutes on the brain because that's what I'm doing on the elephant trunk here in just a few minutes. When I get this other scope going. This is 180 seconds. So that was from the other night. Well, actually a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I got to take this back. So what we're going to do, we're going to get back out of that. We're going to get back into this, and as soon as this, I'll let you see what the 10-minute image is. But once this is done, I'm going to redo the target scenario and set everything up for 180 seconds. My bad. But anyway, you'll get to see what a 10-minute image looks like. On the green filter, it's probably going to be blown out. Shouldn't be all that bad because we're shooting at f7, so it won't be too bad, but I just don't want to have all that brightness difference. And you know what? May have to go with 10 minutes because that's pretty bad. I mean, it's not bad, but it should be a lot brighter than that. But also we're dealing with very poor seeing and visibility with the smoke, so that's actually not too bad. But I'm going to go back and put these back to the same number at the other one. So I'm going to set those up, and then I'm going to let StellaVita take the wheel, and we will see you when this project is done back in PixInsight. Okay, so let's jump right on into PixInsight. All right, so here we are in PixInsight. Let's have a look here. We've got our Luminance channel, our red channel, a green channel, and the blue channel. And of course, over here, I've got a little list of how I'm going to process M101, but I have a little note here that I got this backwards. Instead of SETI Astro, it's supposed to, instead of ABDE, it's automatic background extraction. I've got it written backwards. As you can see right here, it's automatic DBE, but that's close enough. So let's take a look at our Luminance channel, and let's do a quick screen stretch, Control A. And it's just as I figured, there's a pretty big gradient from the top left to the bottom right here, which is, it's no big deal. We'll fix it right up just by going to Script, SETI Astros, Automatic DBE, and running the defaults on this. Just give it a second, and it'll run through its little script process here, and it does a really great job. So it has done its job here. Let's take a look at it. As you can see, that's the gradient that it removed. And let's get rid of the old one. Here is the new one. Let's do a screen stretch, and it did it pretty good. So we're gonna tuck that in right over there, and we're just gonna do the same for all of these. I'll show you the before. There's the before, and we'll go through here. You don't have to turn off the screen stretch. I just normally do. It automatically turns it on and off as it goes. All right, so it's done there. Let's look and see what it did. That's what it removed. So we can get rid of the old one. And let's take a look at the new one. There's the new one. All right. I'm going to try to go through this kind of quickly just because the video is getting kind of long. So let's go to Script, SETI Astros, Automatic DBE. Again, just run the defaults. You can play with the sliders as you wish. I like using the defaults because they work pretty well. Excuse me. All right, so that's done. Let's take a look at the background removal. Did pretty good there. I'm happy with that. And let's take a look at the new one there. It did really good. Let's put that back over here. All right, and we'll do the blue channel. Kind of give you a before. And the blue was the last one that we did. And as you can see, it's barely visible there, even after the stack. It was difficult to capture this one with the haze and the smoke. The blue channel had 2.9 hours on it. The green had 2.3. The red channel had 3.15. And, of course, the Luminance was 4.6. All right, so let's go through here, do the automatic DBE. And we'll have a look-see at what it did here. I'm still pretty surprised that we were even able to get this project complete with the kind of skies that we've been having. So there's a look at the background that it took out. Let's get rid of the old one and have a look at the new one. So that actually did pretty well from the before versus the after there. All right, so the next step is to blur exterminator correct only. So we're going to just go to processes, all processes, blur exterminator, and correct only. And we'll let it do its thing. It should only take, it takes less than a minute for each picture, probably about 35 to 40 seconds per channel here. Just depends on the speed of your computer and how many things you have open. And of course, with me running this program to do the video, it runs a little bit slower. But it's not so bad. It's at right at 90% now. All right, so that blur exterminator is good. We're going to run it on each channel just to make sure that if the stars aren't looking too great, sometimes star alignment and other features, or other processes rather, have a little more difficult time completing what they're supposed to do if it doesn't have the best looking star. So I like to run Blur Exterminator on it before we do any of that, just to give it a better chance at completing all those processes. And it doesn't take that long to do it. So we're just going to run one instance of Blur Exterminator on there, and then what we're going to do is make sure, you don't have to do this, I like to do it. You can do star alignment with any way of how these galaxies are facing, the rotation is. And I'll show that to you in a second. But I like to make sure they're all facing in the right direction before I do it. That's just me. But I'll show you what I mean in just a second, because I think one of these, as you can see here, how the galaxy looks like it's spinning in this direction, or excuse me, in this direction, where the spiral arms are extending out this way, the big bright star here, and there's another little galaxy down here. One of the channels is flipped, and we need to do a fast rotation on it. And yep, so all right, we're done with that. We're going to do a fast rotation. We're going to figure out which one of these needs it. So those two are the same. It's the red channel that needs it, okay? So we know that the red channel needs the fast rotation because you can see that it's oriented in a different direction. So we're just going to go ahead and do the fast rotation for there. And here it is right here. And let me pull this down here so we can see it. So we want to fast rotate at 180 degrees. It's going to take away the astromeric solution. That's fine, because we're going to resolve it anyway. And if you wanted to go ahead and do it right now, we could, but now we're going to have to image solve it again anyway. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and do star alignment to make sure all these line up in the same exact frame. So I'm going to go ahead to go to processes, all processes, star alignment, and then the view I'm going to pick as the Luminance channel. Excuse me. I'm going to pick the Luminance channel as the Luminance ABDE as our channel. And then I'm going to add views. I'm going to add the red, automatic background, green, automatic background, and blue. And then apply global. And what that's going to do is it's going to take the Luminance channel, set it up there, and then it's going to take all the other channels and align it to that. And then, of course, we're going to do some cropping after this. You can do the cropping now, or you can go ahead and combine and then do the crop. It's kind of up to you. I kind of left that part out, but I'm going to do the cropping afterwards. So let me get these three out of the way. We won't need those for now, so I'm going to stick those over there. And then I'm going to just put these over here for now, just to kind of clean up the area we're working with. And so that was a fast rotation, star alignment. And now let's go ahead and combine our LRGB combination. Let's not combine it just yet. Let's go ahead and do our crop. Let's go ahead and do a crop. Let's see which one needs to be cropped the worst. Well, cropped the most. And so far it looks like the green. Yeah, we'll go with the green. So let's pull up the green here. And we'll do dynamic crop on the green. Pull it in as much as you want. Just make sure you leave enough stars in there so it can recognize where it's going to be. Do not do that particular channel just yet. Drag an instance over onto each of your other ones, the other channels. Not worried about the thing yet. We're on the green channel. We're going to hit the green check mark. So now we've cropped everything. All right. So now that we've cropped, let's go ahead and do an LRGB combination. We're going to do a Luminance ABDE. We're going to do the R registered ABDE. And then the green for the green. And this time we're not going to do the chrominance noise reduction. That's probably what was throwing us off there. Blue for the blue. And apply global. It's still going to probably give us a colorful image here. It could be green, it could be blue, it could be red, purple. All right, so no worries there. We'll just turn that off. We'll hit it with some ADBE, DBE, excuse me, automatic dynamic background extraction. Go with the defaults. Sometimes it throws a little curveball there. And give it just a few seconds and we'll see what it did for us. All right, so it's finished. Let's take a look and see what it took out. Okay, we don't need this other image. Let's take a look at our new image. Yes, okay, perfect. There we go. All right, so that's what we're looking for. We want to work with that. So now that we've done step 6, we got rid of the background. We're going to have to do script image solver, and we need to resolve this image to get its astrosomeric, get its alignment and space back, astromeric data. Not sure what they call it. Can't say that big word. All right, so it's done. So we're good there. So then I'm going to hit it with some noise exterminator. And I've got it set up to run like if it was doing color. It's going to say, hey, this is not a color image. It's going to give me a little error there. That's all right. It may or may not run it. Hopefully I selected the right one. Yep, image 53. Okay, yep. So it's running it real quick. And then what I wanted to do is in my opinion, I wanted to make sure this image is as crystal clear as possible so I can get SBCC done on it, because I always have a problem. I'm not sure about anybody else, but I always have an issue trying to get SBCC done on it, and that's the processes, all processes, spectrophotometric color calibration. Say that quick. So we're going to use average spiral galaxy. We're going to go with a 571, and these were Optolong filters. So we'll go with the Optolong R, Optolong G, and the Optolong B. And then we're going to just go with the defaults and everything else and hit the go button. And I hope it's going to have enough samples and stars to get everything going. And we should just, if it's going to go right, we should see this little white screen pop up, hopefully. Yes, there we go. That's how I know that it works. We get this little graph that pops up. So now what it's done is it's color calibrated it to the sky. It makes the coloring of the galaxy that much easier because I don't know how to do it that well. But I can do this part. All right, so we're good there. We've done the SBCC. Now what we can do is we can take the stars out of this image. So we go to processes, all processes, star exterminator. We want to generate a star image, so make sure you check that. And hit the go button. And depending on the speed of your computer, This will take a few seconds, a minute, or even on my old laptop, it would take up to 5 minutes to take the stars out of an image. But here we go. This is looking really good. All right, so there are our stars right there. And if you wanted to see what it looks like, that's the stars not stretched. That's why it looks like that. So we're going to put those over here. And then we have our, what we're left with is a starless galaxy image that's not stretched. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to SETI Astro. We're going to SETI Astro the star stretch. So we're going to put this back over here, and what we're going to do is go to Script, go to SETI Astro, go to Star Stretch. You can do this a bunch of different ways. I'm going to put this down to 4. I like to make the stars minimal in this one, and then I'm going to color boost it up just a little bit, and I'll remove the green. You can show the preview, but we're not going to do that because I'm just going to roll with what we got here. Hit the execute button, and then voila, there are our stars. They are stretched and ready to go. So that's them right there. I'll put that right there. And then we're going to do the same for our main image. We're going to go to Script. We're going to go to SETI Astro. We'll go to Statistical Stretch. And then I'm going to use a 10 on this one. So I'll bring this down to a 10. I'm going to hit Automatic Convergence, and I'm going to go ahead and hit Execute. Because it says right here, 10 is a good start for a galaxy or planetary nebula. And just wait for it to come up here to be done. It says STF has been disabled, so it's good to go. There is our stretched galaxy image. It's not too bad compared to what we started with, and with all of the clouds and all of the nasty weather that we're looking through. I think that turned out pretty good. So that's that. Okay, so now we have that stretched image. And then what you could do is you could go to a range selection. So process all processes and go to range selection here. All right, and we'll give us a preview window, hit the screen in button. And what we're going to do is make a mask out of this. And we're just going to take this slider, move it down, and just get it to where you got your galaxy highlighted. You don't want to get any of this background highlighted unless you really want to manipulate that data. But we don't. So I'm just going to slide this over until that disappears. And I'm happy with the way that it still has this. And then we're going to smooth it out. We're going to blur it out just a little bit. And I think somewhere around in there is good enough. We'll hit the go button. And then we can close out the preview window, close out the range selection box. And then we're simply going to drop the mask onto the image. We'll move the mask out of the way. So now we have this image, and then what we can do is we can process it as needed. So we can take the curves, get a preview window going here, and you can take the saturation and boost the saturation up quite a bit. Open up this little preview window here and do a zoom on it. And then you can take the saturation boost, and you don't want to boost it up so much. But for me, I'm not sure why. If somebody knows, please put it in the chat. But for me, when I process my galaxies, I really have to boost the saturation way, way above to get it to go for the first go. Like, it should be registering now, some type of color. It is. I guess I can just barely see it. But I really have to get it to go. Well, okay, so that did pretty good there. It put some color in there, and then you just have to reset it each time. And it's got some color to it. And just keep boosting your saturation until you're happy with what you have. And it truly is an artist pick on how you want it perceived. You can boost it up, you can boost it down. We can hit it with some curves adjustment, as you can see right here. It's truly however you want it. Process it to how you like it and how it's going to make you feel that you did how you like a good job. So somewhere in there, we'll just go with that. And then we can, I've noticed that if you're not happy with the background and the background is not dark enough or too dark, since you have the mask on there and you're protecting, all you're doing is manipulating these galaxies here, you can simply go in and invert your mask, go back to your curves adjustment, and just go and manipulate the background a little bit. You can make the background lighter or darker. You still have to be careful. It will manipulate the galaxy just a little bit, but you can touch it up a little bit here and there with the sliders just by inverting the mask. And then we'll take that away, get rid of the mask. All right, so then now we have our galaxy here. You can go in and do some more noise exterminator, some more blur exterminator. And then we need to add the stars back in. And there's a couple different ways to do that. You can take the stars and simply do the rescreening stars and put them in that way. But what I've done is, I'm going to get rid of these. What I've done is I've gone in and I processed the image a little bit. Then I had the stars, and then I went to image blend. I went to script, utilities, image blend. And let's see, you can reset this. So we want to go with, M101. It pulls up M101 here. Then you can adjust the image how you want with these sliders. And then we'll pull in the stars, M101 stars. And the stars came up, it replaced the image because down here in the blend mode I have replaced. We want to select screen. And then now you can screen the stars in as you wish. You just change the opacity to where they're just barely there. You can adjust the midtones to give you hardly any stars or the full frontal star like that. You can still change the opacity. It's your preference on how you like the stars to look in your image. And if you like that, then you can go with it. And you can see your image blend image right there. That's not too bad there. And we'll get rid of that. And here's what I came up with. This is just a little bit of processing, noise exterminator, some blur exterminator, and then the image blend. As you can see, it still says image blend. Then I adjusted the stars a little bit. But that is 12.9 hours of data on M101. And that's my final image. So thank you very much for hanging out with me. I want to say thank you. A huge thank you to ToupTek for sending us over the SkyEye 62 full frame camera for review. So far, it's been a blessing. It's been awesome to use. We just have some bad weather. And I also want to say thank you to AstroWorldTelescopes.com, to Dan. Thank you so much. Really appreciate all the help and support. And to everyone out there, I hope you have clear skies. And until next time, clear skies, everyone.